Have you ever gone through a valley? I'm talking about one of those where you're tired, you're frustrated, you're weak, you don't know what to do, you're confused, you're being chased by your bills, by your enemies, by your life circumstances, and you just, you'd love to be up on this mountain, just rejoicing and celebrating, but you're in this valley. Life comes at us that way, and many times we find ourselves having to go through valleys. And it reminds me of one of my favorite Psalms in the Bible, Psalm 23. And it goes a little bit like this: as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And no, it's not Coolio. It really says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. This valley of the shadow of death, we fear death as a general human condition. And let's just put in death is all of these things that we fear that could cause us harm or setbacks or take from us. And so going through the valley of the shadow of death, it seems like death is coming. It may not be death itself, but it's the shadow of death. And we fear that. And the psalmist tells us that he will not fear evil, even though he's going through the valley of the shadow of death. I thought that's an awesome mentality to have. I don't have to be afraid of that because of the protection that I have in my life. And I reflect back to the children of Israel when they were delivered from Egyptian bondage after 400 years, and they come to the Red Sea after going through the 10 plagues and Pharaoh kicking them out of Egypt, and they're trying to get away, but then they come up on this sea and there's no way across. And maybe you've been there. Maybe you've come to a place in your life where there's no path forward. Where do I go from here? I've run into a dead end. There is no place for me to go. And all of a sudden, you look back over your shoulder and there's your enemy. There's the bills and the responsibilities and the troubles and the jobs and all the things that are weighing down on you. But then Moses calls on God, and God tells him to lift his staff and to part the Red Sea so that the people could go across on dry ground. And so he does, and they begin to leave the seashore to go into the Red Sea, but they're going in on dry ground. And there's water walled up on both sides. Imagine this. This is a valley. This is a dark valley because